guys, it is 4:51 p.m. on Monday, the 185th day I'm doing this. Here's your daily dose of hope. And I'm hoping I deleted some stuff off this computer, so I'm hoping it lasts longer, but regardless, computer stop. Sorry, my thing is, the name is that. That's ironic because I didn't do the typical name so that wouldn't happen. But anyway, what I wanted to say, one of the things I wanted to say, this journaling thing, this new journaling thing, it's totally working. I was able to go back because you put the date at the top of the page of every page. You can go back and see how much time has elapsed. So the facts are, I started this journaling thing March 27th. Today is March 30th. Now, my brain and nervous system would have no clue, but those are the facts. So this is, including the 27th, this is the fourth day I'm doing this journaling thing. And I'm already seeing such a difference, experiencing such a difference. So I would highly recommend it, especially if you have ADHD, especially if you are averse to journaling, because all sorts of reasons, but particularly because by the end of the day, if you feel like you didn't really do anything, it's almost like you don't want to journal because it confirms that the day was wasted, even though it's not accurate. It's just that you can't remember all the other stuff you did. And I am realizing, and it's well-meaning advice, and if it works for you, use it. That is my whole thing. If it works for you, use it. If it's not working for you, here's an alternative. So well-meaning advice, such as always, just do it, do or do not, there is no try, these things, while well-meaning, ignore the possible gap that's there. And particularly if you've come from constantly always being criticized, constantly it's not good enough, you are at a deficit. And so if you're already at a deficit, not your fault, not who you are, just your experiences, then to be told just do it, and for some reason you don't know how to do it, or you feel like you can't just do that, it shuts the whole thing down. It's like I think of a factory. It shuts the whole process down. So then nothing happens, and then the downward spiral continues, right? Or if you have varying levels of energy, particularly ADHD, because what I'm realizing, at least for me, my brain uses a lot of energy. And I don't want to stop that about my brain. That's what makes me happy. I'm not doing it for any reason other than that's how I like to be. So there are varying levels of energy because I'm using so much energy. My point is, it can be really confusing for you and for other people when some days you can just do it. So you're like, oh, okay, everything's fine. And then 3 days later or a week later, you can't. And now you're trying to do the just do it and it's not working, and it's like, what? What is going on? There's all sorts of things that could be contributing, but I'm just saying I'm currently trying to hyper focus on what I can do right now from where I'm at with what I have, right? And so anyway, what I'm doing is I'm creating a schedule while I'm having a good brain day that provides the executive functioning and the structure to hold me in the times where maybe I'm not having a good brain day. And that is like giving yourself a life raft, or building a boat. I always end up having water metaphors, but something where when you're having a great day, instead of curbing, like the show Curb Your Enthusiasm, instead of, holding back that racehorse, and you're just but write it all out when you're there, when you're in that zone. But here's the key. Do not put the level demands on yourself for your best day. Put it on your worst day. So you're planning while you're in your good day, but you're making the plan so doable that still addresses the most important things that you can execute it on your worst day. Here's an example. Food. I did not realize, because I really think this is like I don't think this is just a me thing. This is why I'm sharing this. But I'm the canary in the coal mine. I'm telling you guys as I'm learning this stuff, experiencing this stuff, falling down and then realizing why? I don't understand. And then realizing things. So the trickle down effect, like I said before. So I didn't realize that on the days where I was feeling great, like the odds were in my favor, I would let my daughter make whatever she wants, just kind of create this huge, not only mess and everything, but expectation. So then on a day where I'm like my body's struggling, just a human being, that expectation's already there. Like I shot myself in the foot, right? And so I think I talked in a different video, I can't remember, but I came up with this idea. Instead of a box for extras, because that does not work with my brain and my nervous system right now, I made a box for last ones. So we have multiple tubes of toothpaste, for example, but my nervous system is like, do we have toothpaste? Where is it? And it's not that I can't possibly do it. It's that it's eating up, draining so much energy that you just even know that's a waste of energy. But your brain also won't let it go, because it's like an open loop of and then you get into survival mode and all of that. So what I did is I created a bin for last one. So I have one tube of toothpaste in that box. So as long as that box still has that tube of toothpaste, my brain and nervous system know, oh, okay, we've got that. We don't have to keep checking that. We've got that. If it gets to the point, or when it gets to the point where we take that, I realize we're looking for toothpaste, we can't find it, right? That's the fear. Then we take that one out of the box. That's the cue for me to get more. That's one thing. So I'm adapting that to food as well. So we have a frozen pizza. And I realized that can be, and through this journaling system, I realized that can be like the anchor for food. Because even though we have food, it's like I keep thinking we don't, or and all of that. And so basically, as long as that pizza's still in there, computer stop. Reminder set. As long as that pizza's in there, I can tell my nervous system, at ease, soldier, we've got food. Worst case scenario, we have no food except for that pizza, right? Absolute worst case scenario. But still, I've got us covered, because worst case scenario, we have no food left. Okay, now we eat the pizza. Now I know we need groceries. And it's not like it's ever going to get to that point. But my point is that's what allows that flare up, that constant, we don't have enough, or we don't have anything. Even if she tries to say something, that just means she wants to order out. We do have food. She just might not want, she wants McDonald's or whatever it is. So those are baseline things that, a lot of people don't even have to deal with, but I do. And I'm eliminating those with these solutions, So anyway, I've created now at least a schedule to try, because my words for this year are foundation experimentation, that builds in time for me to I'm not going to say the word relax, but no agenda. Doesn't mean I'm not going to do anything, but no agenda. And building in blocks of time for certain categories of tasks. And what I'm hoping is by doing that, then when it is time for no agenda or time to relax, I will actually be able to because I've accounted for everything that actually needs to get done. So, because I mean, I see things where it's like, oh, I stayed up till 3 a.m. and then I was like, basically couldn't do anything for 3 days. I don't have that option. And frankly, I don't want to do that to myself unless absolutely necessary, because I know now what that does to me and it's not good. So, but at the same time, that kind of all work and no play doesn't work either. So it's really trying to figure out, like the last video, like bang for your buck. Like, what are the things that don't depend on other people, like counting on other people to pull through, but genuinely give me a sense of joy, or genuinely give me a sense of agency or satisfaction that I can do right now. Oh, also, I did change up my bookcase, and my quote that I've had forever says "Live, Love, Sparkle," and then I put my pretty timer next to it, and like stuff like that that other people don't care about, right? Like, that's my stuff, but I didn't realize how much I need stuff like that, or how much of a positive effect that has for me. And these are kind of like my anchors in the storm, because when you know that whatever system you're using is like one, head cold away from collapsing kind of feeling, it's not a comforting thing. So even when no emergency is currently going on, the system itself just is fragile. And anyway, I already forgot what I said, but just speaking from my heart. And yeah, I just want to say, you are the sky. You were here yesterday, you're here today, and you will be here tomorrow. And you deserve to be here every single day. And like I said, the biggest thing is, when you are having like a great day, I would say leverage that. Don't make your schedule based on that, but make your schedule during that time, because that's when you're the most clear. It's like you're able to see cracks in the system or energy leaks, and then you're able to come up with ideas to address them. So then when you are having not the best day, you've already got the system in place, and that can hold you during those days. And if you already know this stuff, that's awesome. But for me, I'm having to do such mental and emotional Tetris all the time, because I'm just not willing to give up without a fight. And I really am figuring out how I can work smarter, not harder. And I'm seeing, like I said, on top of everything else that, needs to be addressed, yes. But these are things I can do right now to at least try something different. And that gives me a sense of hope. And that's what I'm always looking for, is that sense of hope, like real hope, real joy. So one of the things I'm doing too is telling myself, instead of saying I'm healing, which is true, I'm telling myself I'm upgrading my programming. And again, just working with my system and everything, it was like, I really like that, because that both acknowledges that, like, kind of have some stuff stacked against you right now, and have been, but it doesn't say just do it. It doesn't say the past is the past. It says, this is why it feels hard to take care of you. This is why it feels hard to be kind to yourself. You're not born hating yourself. It's learned, through things. You're not born feeling unsafe, it's learned through things. And there's something really authentic and comforting about admitting that. So that's the first part. But it's nothing but hope in the second part, because it's saying I'm upgrading my programming. So for example, I wake up most days with anxiety, flashbacks, that kind of thing. And I realized the best thing I can do right now is, as soon as I wake up, turn on a meditation. Not even necessarily to focus and meditate, but to turn on some soothing, but, productive stimulus. And I actually watched a video even today, and this guy was talking about morning anxiety. And he was talking about why this works and all of that. So, I would just say, if you just feel completely hopeless or stuck or something like that, try YouTube, try different inputs, try breath work, try things that you can do from exactly where you're at, physically speaking, and what you can possibly do. Try that, and then see, objectively, did that, I hate that, do you feel better? Because to me that's a finite, are you all better? No. But did that make a positive difference in some possible way? Did it soften the pain? Did it shift the pain? Did it do something? And even if it didn't, you can give yourself credit for trying. And that is still better than not trying. So anyway, I know this is long, but I love you guys and have a great day.